Hi there. Today I'm going to talk to you about transport in China. I'm going to talk specifically about trains, taxis, flights, and buses. So these are four cheap and easy ways to get around China, and I'll start off by talking about trains. Trains you can book on a website called Trip, which you'll definitely use for other transport as well. It'll become your transport Bible. Now, just like back home, the trains have classes of seats. So first class, second class, for example. And if it's a long train, then you can also get a sleeper, which is a bed instead of a seat. I've not really been on a train for that long myself in China, but many people who come to China like to try out the hard sleeper for a long train journey, just for part of the adventure. As you can imagine, journey times between provinces and between cities can be very, very long because it's such a huge country. So trains are an incredibly convenient way of getting around. And the quality of them is generally very good. I've always been happy whichever train I've taken. They're usually clean, not too noisy, and yeah, they're very nice. So the next mode of transport I'm going to talk to you about is taxis. Now, these taxis are pretty much the same as back home, only here they have the added challenge of a driver who doesn't speak the same language as you. So when you're trying to negotiate with the driver about the price, try your best to speak in Chinese so that they think that you're a local and they don't think that they can scam you. It also helps, if you can, to try and find out what the price of it should be for your destination, so that if they try and charge you a bit over, you can try and haggle them down. Now, this won't always work. In bigger cities, I've found that the taxis have meters on them, so you can't actually control the price. But try to know the route as well so that they don't take you some long way. It all sounds a bit complicated, but really it's exactly the same as back home. And back home we have Uber. So in China they have an app called Didi. Now Didi you can access through WeChat, which everyone has on their phone in China. And basically you can order a taxi to come to the exact place you are, just like Uber. It's very convenient. Often it only takes a few minutes for them to arrive. You can pay for it on your phone via your WeChat, which is very, very convenient and handy. The only catch about Didi is that they usually like to call you to check where you are. So try and learn the name of the place you're standing in Chinese, or stand somewhere kind of distinguishable so that it's easy to communicate to them where you are. Usually my script is, in Chinese I would say, I am at the location, sorry my Chinese isn't very good, I'm a foreigner. And you don't have to worry about being scammed on this one because you're a foreigner, because the price is already decided on your phone, just like Uber. It's based on your destination. So the third mode of transportation I'm going to talk about is flights, and again, ctrip.com is a lifesaver. It's a Chinese website, but it has an English version. It's really easy to navigate, and that's where I found the cheapest flights. Obviously, the more in advance you book your flight, the cheaper it is. Unlike the trains, I think the trains usually stay the same price. When I book my flight through Trip, when I get to the airport, often I don't even have to show them a confirmation. I just have to show them my passport and that's it. So definitely, if ever you're booking a flight around China, Trip should be the first place that you check out. There are obviously airports all over China, so there's so many places that you can go. And it's a great transport hub to get to Southeast Asia as well. The last thing I'm going to talk to you about is buses. Buses are generally the easiest way to go. Usually you just turn up at the station and book your ticket and off you go. In every city there's usually at least one bus station, so the transport links are absolutely fabulous. It's also often the cheapest option, just like back home. So you can ask the locals for advice on bus times, bus prices, and you can also ask them how long it's going to take, of course. So anyway, I hope this has been some good advice for you when you come to China. You'll definitely be using all of these. Overall, it's very, very easy to get around China and it's very cheap. And generally, you don't ever have to worry about getting lost because people are so happy to help you out. Traveling around China is super easy and a brilliant adventure, so I hope you have a good time trying it all out. Alright, cheers for watching. Bye bye.